What up there, friends? So, many months ago, I got issued another challenge. It seems like those Russian poi spinners love giving me new tricks to learn, and I am totally here for it. So, in this video, I'm going to try and get down this trick that my man Anton, I believe his last name is Plumber, challenged me to do quite some time ago. Drex here from DrexFactory.com, sharing with you the love of poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your body and brain. And today, I am going to do another poi challenge video, because there's lots more out there to learn. But before we dive in, I do just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Flowfests, Flow Toys, Juggling Calling, Pyroterra Light Toys, Spinballs, and Ultrapoi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all of these amazing businesses and what they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links that I have down in the description of this video. And special thanks to non-business friends of the channel, Johnny Howard and Lain Mochinsky. Thank you both so very much for your support for my work and my mission. So let's go ahead and get this started by having me download the video that Anton threw out there of this trick. And let's see if I can start to decode the bits and pieces of it. So first and foremost, let's go check out this video over on Instagram. I have it here in my saved videos. So I'm going to go ahead, there we are, and click on the little meatball menu in the upper corner and copy link. And I'm going to go ahead and pull it over into repost, because that's what I use for downloading videos and being able to watch them frame by frame so I can break them down for myself. So let's just watch it through once to get a feel for it. Woo! Look at that. One of these pieces I already have of this puzzle, and the trick here is if you look very, very closely at what he's doing with his left hand here. So while he's over here to his left-hand side, does a beat, and then boom, pops up, his hand reaches behind his head, and then it comes around and does a beat over on his right, before boom, doing a little linear isolation down in front of him, right there. Why is this important? Because it is a tweak of the same linear isolation that I use for teaching people how to do anti-spin flowers. Cool, that's yet another way that those things come in handy. Awesome. So right hand is hanging out by the shoulder, and it is basically doing a pendulum behind the head. So I can tell right now that the placement of the hands going behind the head is going to be a challenge. That's going to be real hard for me. Okay, so that's the theory. Now it's time to work on the thing, huh? So I'm essentially going to have to reverse all the directions that Anton was doing, because it appears that his dominant direction of spin is counterclockwise. You'll note that linear isolation he's doing behind his head happens with his left hand. My dominant direction of spin is clockwise, which means that linear isolation should go up behind my head with my right hand, like so. Nothing wrong with either direction of spin. Both of them totally work. But I'm going to basically have to do the opposite of what he does. So that means that my right hand is going to have to do that little pause up top and drop around. Pause up top, drop around, pause up top, drop around. So the good news is I can already do it. Like I said before, this is essentially just the same linear isolation going back and forth that I usually use to teach people how to do anti-spin flowers, yeah? Okay, so there's something in the mechanics of the left hand that is going to be a bit of a challenge. I think that I have to stall it out, pull it around, and then stall back down into the static spin. Interesting, so it's not exactly a stall out per se, so much as it is like a continuation of the movement of the pendulum across the top, like so, which, you know, is definitely a way to do it. Here, I'm going to adjust this so that you can get a better view of me as I'm playing in the mirror here. So one thing I do need to be more careful about is the placement of the hands as they're going around. I'm almost doing more like an anti-spin windmill there, which is funky because I didn't realize that there was an anti-spin version of that. The move really does start with the pendulum going behind the head. And that's where we wind up in this awful place where the hands are kind of crossed, you know? It looks like the trick here is that as the pendulum is going back, I need to keep this hand as high as I possibly can and this hand as low as I possibly can. So let's see what that looks like. I'm gonna try a slightly longer set of poi and see if it helps. I'm pretty sure it won't, but I'm gonna try anyway. All right, I'm gonna take a break from this for the night and come back to it tomorrow. Let's see what it's looking like then. All right, so welcome back to day 2 of this project. And if I can be real with you, this has actually turned out to be really frustrating for me. So I went ahead and went and looked at some of the game tape of myself performing this move. There's probably several problems, but a few things that I'm noticing. Number one, I have a really bad tendency to like keep my hands together as I'm bringing the poi around back behind my head. I've been workshopping on this and I have actually had some success in keeping my hands separate. The big thing that's helping out with that, honestly, is me really focusing on initiating the move with my left hand. That my left hand actually starts this like a half a second before my right hand does. Number two, I kind of went back and retaught myself the trick over again. I noticed that in Anton's tutorial, he was actually breaking it into 2 different pieces. That is, a piece going up across the top, stop, and then a piece going down across the bottom. And I noticed that as he was doing that, there were very specific arm positions that he was getting to on either side. And I went ahead and started drilling those. I'm not gonna lie here though, like, this is definitely a move that is physically taxing for me. I'm not sure if it's that my arms aren't long enough or maybe that my shoulders aren't flexible enough, but I have been having problems as I've been working on this with both shoulder and neck pain. I still think that I have this move in me. At least I'm going to try to. There is still just a hair bit of sunlight left out, so I'm going to try and go outside and drill this a little bit more and see if when I come back in, I will be ready to actually commit this to video. So keep your fingers crossed for me there, friends, yeah?
Yeah, so the problem is that anytime I get it up to speed, I start defaulting back into a hands together place. And that's not where we want to be here. I'm going to keep working on it. All right, so it definitely seems like there's kind of almost a sucking together feeling that's happening. I don't know how to describe this when I get it right. Problem is that that's also when it feels the least stable, because of course it does. I'm gonna go through it just a couple more times. I'm losing the light here, but after that, I think I'm gonna take it back inside and see if I can get my 3 reps of it for my finishing footage here. Keep your fingers crossed for me.
Jesus, so this trick is so much harder than I thought it was because the placement of the poi is not where I thought it needed to be. So I think that this is probably going to bleed on over into day 3. Drat. Okay, so I have come to the conclusion that it is probably physically impossible for me to do this trick exactly the way that Anton is performing it in his video, and let me tell you why. So I have dissected this video frame by frame more times than I can count at this point, and there is something that has really jumped out to me about that position around the head, And that is, if you look very closely at the reach that Anton is doing with his left hand as the poi is pointing straight up above it, he's basically reaching around to the backside of his head, and his hand is reaching a point where it's even about with the bottom of his nose or his jawline. Here's the thing. I cannot reach that far behind my head. My arms are proportionately quite short for my height, number one. And for number two, my shoulders are not terribly flexible. When I try to reach to this position, I physically can't do it. So this has resulted in, as I'm trying to do this trick, some very, very tight positions for both my head as well as my arms. And if I'm going to be real with y'all, it honestly hurts doing this trick. And I think that I need to listen to my body in telling me that this is not a thing I should be doing. So what are some alternatives? See, the core of this move is really taking a 4-petal diamond mode anti-spin flower versus a box mode 4-petal anti-spin flower and changing the arrangement of them such that Anton has decided to add a body tracing twist to this, pun not intended. The way he's doing this is that he's getting both of the poi to go behind his head up top, and they're essentially moving through a spot where they're clearing the space behind his head before he brings them out in front of himself. One option would be to simply keep the 2 poi in front of me the entire time to throw out the body tracing element. This isn't actually going to work though. One of the reasons that Anton is putting these poi around his head up top is that there's no body in the way up there, or at least less body than there is on bottom. Whoops, that's not going to work. So my solution is I'm going to try and do a few reps as close to Anton's version as I possibly can with what I have access to. And I'm also going to record a few reps with keeping my left hand in front and getting the placement of everything closer to what I think Anton's intention is. I can throw out the body tracing element with the box mode 4-petal anti-spin flower, the thing that I was mistaken for a pendulum before, by keeping that in front of my body. Y'all can tell me, do you think I'm close enough for jazz, and or do you think my possible replacement is close enough to honor the spirit of the thing? Let me know. And of course, Anton, you can let me know what you think about all this out there. It could be that I'm missing something pretty significant. For right now, if you got anything out of this video, please make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to keep the conversation going, and of course, to help my channel grow. This video, of course, would not be possible without the kind support of all these nice people right here. These are my Flow patrons over on Patreon, and they, along with the people listed down in the description, help to make this video and all the videos on this channel possible. Do you like my videos? Do you like flow sessions? Do you like taking on challenges like this? Do you like vlogs? Do you like reviews? I like making them. You can help me out in my mission of bringing poi spinning and flow arts to the wider world and helping people connect with their brains and their bodies by heading on over to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi and signing up. There you can get early access to all of my videos as well as a host of other awesome rewards. You can do that either by clicking on the link down in the description or the card that just popped up on YouTube. Go take a look at that, please and thank you, and I hope y'all sign up to support this work that I'm doing. And with that, I'm going to take a break to go do more videos. Haha. Now, my neck hurts, my arms hurt. I'm going to give myself a break here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will leave links to some other challenges that I've done down in the description as well as up on screen if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure to get out and get some flow in today, and I'll see you with a new video on Friday. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.